my own agent assaulted me. And I went to the head of the motion picture department and I was like, hey, man, I said, this dude, you can't molest the clients. And the guy looked at me and said, he's a partner. Yeah, he can.
Your agent at a party, well documented,
yes,
came up to you and started groping.
He grabbed my privates. He grabbed my dick, basically. And I'm like, yo! Look, I don't know what he was on, because he wasn't drunk, but he was on something, okay? I don't know what it was. I have no idea, but he was not acting himself. He was licking his tongue out and acting all funny and weird. It's like he was tweaking this nervous, weird energy, like somebody had a Molly or something crazy. He was not there, okay? And I was just like, man, he was looking at me like, oh my God, like, I don't know what was, and his wife was there, and my wife was there. And again, it was really weird because here we are in this really, Hollywood party, hot famous people everywhere. And here he's Stallone's agent, he's Eddie Murphy's agent, he's Adam Sandler's agent, he's the head of the motion picture department at William Morris Endeavor. And he lost his mind. And look, I pushed him off, he comes back again, I push him off again. I'm like, yo, man, get the fuck off me, man. And he starts laughing. And I'm going, what? Now I'm feeling so crazy. Now, I'm about to put my hand through his head. And my wife, I looked at her, and this is where I went to, because my wife had seen me. There's a long trail of people who've been knocked out by Terry Crews, okay? So she looked at me, but there was a time, a long time ago, she made me promise that I would not be violent anymore. And that was part of the therapy. It was part of what we're doing. And I realized this was another trial. This was no different than being called nigger. This was no different than a pull and a bait that if I went for it. And what's so crazy is I asked people the question, like, if I had knocked him out, because a lot of people say, you should have just done it, man. What's wrong with you, man? You weak. But I go, would you have believed me? No. Even you, the people who say that I should have done it, would you have believed the story that this guy grabbed my balls and I wailed off on him, and he happens to be the head of the motion picture department? Why would he do that? Terry Crews, big superstar, probably got drunk, probably knocked him out because he got angry. Hey man, nobody would believe that. But you believe me now because I didn't do it.
When people take that, you took that to your agency, the head of your agency, and you told him what had happened, and he said?
He said, well, he's a partner. And he said, listen, this is what I'm going to do, Terry. He said, I'm going to take his title, and he's going to be suspended for 30 days. And I went, huh? So you're going to send him on vacation?
Was he giving you that fake energy? Oh, when they're fake handling it?
It was as fake. It was like dealing with the devil. And first of all, when I met with him, he was like, I'm going to give you a meeting. As if he was going to let me grace his presence. Because, he owns all these people in Hollywood. And I'm like, what the hell?
When people talk about why they didn't come forward, they often mention an element of fear.
Yes.
For what that powerful individual might do to their career or their life. Or
what happened is, even right after it happened, he told me the other day that Adam Bennett called me. He was like, I'm sorry, I was drunk, and blah, blah, blah. I said, hey man, you got to be held responsible for what you just did. I don't know what's up. So what's up? And so everybody told me we're taking this very seriously, and we're gonna get back to you with what's gonna happen. Nothing happened, right? So a year later, when the Me Too thing happens, I snapped because I knew nothing was going down. They let him get away with it. And so when I met with Ari, I said, hey, Ari, I said, man, first of all, you wrote a letter to Mel Gibson demanding that he be kicked out of Hollywood for anti-Semitic remarks. He wrote a letter to the Huffington Post. You can Google it right now, and it tells how he needs to be kicked out. I said, look, anti-Semitic remarks, as reprehensible as they are not illegal. I said, but sexual assault is. I said, I don't care. You're talking about a 30-day suspension. I said, man, you can't molest the clients and come back to work ever. I said, if somebody in the mailroom did this, they'd be out. How much more the head of the agency, a partner? I said, what are you saying? He said, it's different. And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the standing O that happened to Will Smith. It's different. It's Will Smith. Chris Rock standing over there, nobody goes to him. He's standing all by himself. But who's bigger? Who's got the best light? We love Will. It's different. And I said, dude, no, it's not. No. And I said, all right, man. I said, you really want this? And he said, hey, man, it is what it is. I said, okay. I'll see you when I see you. And what happened was I decided to sue. And I spent $500,000 of my own money suing William Morris Endeavor. And what was crazy is that they fought me every step of the way until people came out of the woodwork. People like, Terry, he did this to me too. Let me join your case. I was like, because remember, you don't rob the biggest, bank in the city. You start out with the branches. You start out small. And all these people started to come out of the woodwork about what this man had done. And then all of a sudden they were white flag, our bad. And he decided they decided to retire him. So he basically retired. You're not allowed to say fired, but he was retired. And I was like, good. And I didn't want any money. I never wanted money in the first place. Because their whole thing was they were scared of, how much you want? I was like, I don't want a dime. I said, dude, I will spend $1 million to win $1. So what do you want to do? And so what they did, I got my attorney fees back. He was gone. But that's all they should have done in the first place. Because it's unacceptable. Remember, it's not enough to say my bad. You can't grab me in front of my wife and all this and be like, oh, my bad. I got high that day. It's not enough.